We're in Berry Place Temple. Prabhupada's just given a lecture and it's packed. Berry Place Temple room was small. Relatively speaking, it was small. Shyam Sundar had made a magnificent job of building it into something that was otherworldly. The temple room in Berry Place was just otherworldly, but it was small. And when it was packed, the condensation would drip from the ceiling and so forth. Prabhupada had just finished his talk and said, "Are there any questions?" And immediately an Indian lady who visited quite frequently to do service, she was a frequent visitor, but she was an individual at the same time. She kept herself to herself and was quite argumentative with devotees. Strangely enough, she liked being there, but she was a very argumentative. So Prabhupada said, "Question, are there any questions?" She stood up immediately and said, "Swami, can you see God?" It was quite challenging, and I thought, And Prabhupada said immediately, "Yes, you cannot." Then he looked around like this, "Krishna is everywhere. Why you cannot see?" And Prabhupada didn't need to say anything else. For me, I realized everything in that moment for me. That Krishna, he's everywhere. So if I can't see him, I got to start working. I got to do something. He's everywhere. So he said, "Why you cannot see?" And there was silence, and she was still standing, and Prabhupada was staring. Not staring like this, but gazing affectionately. "Why? You cannot see." And she didn't know what to say. Silence. More silence. And they're just looking at each other. So then Prabhupada says, "Do you want to see?" And the silence again, then she looks down at her feet and shakes her head like this. Then Prabhupada says loudly, "Therefore you cannot see." And if he said anything else, I can't remember. I was just stunned at how he dealt with this situation. At first it was a challenge. "Swami, can you see God?" Immediately, "Yes, you cannot. Krishna is everywhere. Why you cannot see?" And then, "Do you want to see?" "No. Therefore you..." And I almost saw the lightning come out, or whatever energy it was, come out of his finger when he said that to this lady. And she almost crumbled onto the floor. She got pranams like this. She didn't want to ask anything else. She'd heard what Prabhupada had. She'd heard what she needed to hear from Prabhupada, so she sat down. Like I say, if there's anything else after that, Prabhupada may have said more. I don't remember. I had what I had got from that. It was unbelievable. Massive experience. Prabhupada could say more in one word or in a couple of words than you could read in a book of philosophy sometimes. That was another thing that took me about Prabhupada. His way with words, his expertise in not misusing one word or using any words unnecessarily to get his point across. And sometimes, as with that lady, even he used the silence to speak volumes, because there were big pauses between "Krishna is everywhere, why you cannot see?" and then nothing, silence, silence. It was remarkable. I'd never seen anyone like this before, and of course never, ever will again. So I'm glad that I remembered that one, because that's usually, if people say, "Can you tell us some Prabhupada memories?" Usually that's the one I start with, that, and the way that lady was humbled. So